You've heard me talk here about the Trudeau paid press because the Trudeau government pays certain publishers, certain news outlets, a lot of money. They said they had to help them out. Well, Blacklock is an agency, news agency out of Ottawa. It is paid by subscribers fully and no debt. And Holly Doan is a publisher, and she joins me now because I want to know the difference between your publication, which is online, and the big ones like the Star and the Globe and Mail, which are getting millions of dollars, I understand, from the government, although the government doesn't say how much.
Well, the difference would be we don't take the subsidies, and they do. The difference would be those are very large newsrooms with a lot of overhead and a lot of staff and a lot of debt and a union scale and a lot of real estate.
But, you know, well, less and less for some of them. But really, I mean, the government said these are tough times, so we're going to help them out. But in any industry, if you're finding that you don't have the market, you do two things. You either cut back or you go bankrupt, or you just say, fine, it's over. Listen,
in 2017, the Heritage Department wrote in a policy paper that we published that the wolf is at the door for all of these companies. The Heritage Minister at the time, Melanie Joly, said, quote, "We will not be in the business of bailing out failed business models. We will invest in innovation."
Right.
2 years later.
That makes sense.
2 years later, lobbyists came to, yes, that's right. 2 years later, lobbyists came to town and they gave them their money.
So it's still going on?
The income supports to publishers will run out in 2025.
Right.
And at the time that they were awarded the subsidies, the News Media Canada testified at the Finance Committee that this is temporary. Quote, "This is temporary.
So was the Income
We
Tax
have
Act.
to save ourselves." What has happened? Last month, the Assistant Associate Deputy Minister of Heritage testified at the Senate Committee that it has not worked. The subsidies have not worked. "Journalism is still in decline," said Thomas Ripley. So they know the subsidies haven't worked. Personally, I think they want to get out of them. Usually, you know about government. If you bestow a subsidy on any industry, you'd like to get some thanks for it. You'd like to get reelected because of it. All this has done is erode trust and further enhance hostilities towards Canadians towards their news media.
Well, it makes sense. If the news media is being paid by the government, then people reading it saying, well, you know, they aren't going to be as hard-hitting as maybe they should be.
Well, that you could, and if that would be your judgment, if that's what's happening, they will say, well, we just don't have the resources. We still need money. So that means there's all the money in the world is not going to save them.
No one is interested in your product. And if your product is not popular or used, then on the trash heap.
Yeah,
well, the horse and buggy.
Well, so that's the thing. They promised they were going to retool. We have to save ourselves, said the head of News Media Canada in 2019. Ask yourself, is your paper, the Toronto Star, or the Winnipeg Free Press, or the Vancouver Sun, are they better than they were when they got the subsidies in 2019? They're worse.
You don't retool when you're getting paid by the government. Holly Doan, 3 minutes. Thanks very much, as always. Justin Trudeau is now on the record as saying that social media is destabilizing, and he wants to bring in censorship to determine what can be put on and not on social media. That is wrong. Please support this station. And please add your address so I can write you a letter and thank you for supporting freedom of speech.